Hello, America. We're going to be talking about secret VA ratings, a body of a veteran found in a shower, a rare Da Vinci discovery, profiles in history, and more. So sit tight. We're going to get this thing going right now.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. You and I have a rendezvous with destiny.
You know what time it is, so sit back and get ready for the Stafford Voice, your dose of conservative in a world of liberal.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, how are you doing? I am your host, Daniel Stafford, and you're listening to the Stafford Voice, where we are conservative in a world of liberal. And I want to remind you that there are many ways to listen, so set this channel as a favorite, hit the subscribe button, whatever you have to do. And as a matter of fact, if you're over on the YouTubes and you hit the subscribe button, also make sure you hit there's a little icon next to the subscribe button. It looks like a bell. Hit that bell, and whenever we upload something or we go live, you're going to be notified immediately. Because we don't want you to get left behind. And if for some strange, crazy reason you do miss the show, you'll be able to catch the replay, so just sit tight. There is absolutely no need to panic because, hey, I've got you. And in the case you aren't already following on social media, you can find me over on the Twitters or the Gab, both of which we can be found at Stafford Voice. Or you can look me up on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, the Snapchats, wherever you are. All you have to do is just search for the Stafford Voice, and, well, you're probably going to find us. We are even over on, let me make sure I get it named properly. We're even over on the Tea Party community. We're over on Grassfire, a new up-and-coming, listen, Eric Odom over at Grassfire, that guy is fired up. They spent countless hours over the weekend redesigning their complete social media network over there at Grassfire. You will be well pleased if you haven't been over there if you haven't been over there in a while. Go back over to Grassfire, check it out. I think you'll be pleased. Since you'll be out there on the interwebs, do me a favor, and if you haven't already done so and signed up for our monthly newsletter. I feel great. I feel like I'm ahead of the curve. I've got three tiny little things to do towards December's newsletter. It should drop here sometime this week. Super excited. I'm almost done with it. In order to subscribe, it's really easy. I mean, you're already there. If you're already at the StaffordVoice.com, all you have to do is fill in a couple of lines, tell me your email address, your name, and once a month you'll get an email. Maybe there's some special notices that we need to contact you with, so that's how we'll do it. Yeah. So much to get into tonight. I mean, if you missed the introduction, let me run through this again real quick. Again, secret VA ratings. The body of a veteran was found dead in a shower. Listen, that right there is... I'm going to control my tongue tonight because these two VA stories that we're talking about tonight, these two stories that we'll be talking about tonight had me fuming all weekend. As a matter, I'm feeling the wave of a headache coming on because I'm getting beyond sick and tired. I'm beyond frustrated talking about the failures of our VA system and the mistreatment of our veterans. Also, I found something really, really cool. It came across the wires, I think sometime today, maybe yesterday. It was a rare Da Vinci discovery. You guys know that I love history and I like art, and even some classic literature and writers. So if you guys have been listeners and watchers on the YouTubes, then you guys know that we went to a Da Vinci exhibit earlier this year. It was fantastic, and this one just stuck out. It was absolutely awesome what I found. Also, we've got an incredible Profiles in History. This guy is really, really cool. And I'm going to drop some major big news. It's huge. It's bigly, okay? Also, if you're watching on the YouTubes, give me a thumbs up. Or if you like the little caricature we've got this week. Last week we had the Ninja Turtle. This week we've got a little Captain America guy. It's my little cartoon caricature of myself. I was feeling really patriotic tonight. I'm even wearing my Captain America t-shirt. Sorry if you're a comic book guy and you feel that I've desecrated that character. Sorry, not sorry. I can't neglect my chat rooms. I see we've already got two guys over there. We've got Slick from Rebel Road Tactical, and we've got Jessica that's joining us tonight. Thank you guys for joining us. Let me see what. I feel like I've missed a lot in the chat room. Rebel's a subscriber, yes. Jess is a subscriber. She's sorry she was late getting off the air. No big deal. Sorry, I missed that. I was so wrapped up in getting going tonight that I totally missed tuning in and hearing you jump off the air. I saw that I was getting an error coming across, but nonetheless, we're here. We're ready to go. Jessica also said that she's take some Ranger candy and move out. Yes, we're ready. We are ready. I'm not hyper. Sorry. I had a really good workout about, what was it? About 2 or 3 hours ago. Let's see. So I'm still kind of pumped about that. Also, I'm really pumped about some big news. So let's get through. Let me get through the bottom line here real quick, and then I'll give you the big news. It's really kind of exciting for us, and then I'll talk about some things coming up in 2017. So yeah, let's see, where are we at? Let's get into the bottom line. And listen, we've got problems. Lots of them. And yet we live in a world that seems to not want to take credit for anything. Yes, you even need to take credit for your losses just as much as you do your wins. And the fact still remains. Hillary Clinton lost. That is so good to say. Recount this all you want. Is it working? No. Seriously, this is laughable. The President-elect Trump, is getting more votes because of it. But what about the Russians, you say? Was it the Russians? No, probably not. Oh, but we can blame them for it, because of all the fake news and propaganda out there. Did they? I don't know. Probably not. Debate it however you want, but you need to accept the facts. I know that's hard for some to do, but accept the facts and let's get to work. We've got plenty of it to do, and plenty of it to do right here at home. So how do we do it? Look. At the tips of our fingers, we have more information than ever before. But facts are facts. Yes, there is fake news out there. And that's the hard part in all of this, sorting through it. But if you don't get in the game, you're just as guilty as the opposition. And you will never know. Being informed comes at a price. Rightly so, so does being uninformed. Get out there and get educated on topics. Get out there and get educated. Teach someone else if you learn something new. Share it. You will be rewarded. Don't be like those on the other side who freely accept the fact that, well, they're missing a few up there. And that's the bottom line. Okay. Well, I feel so scatterbrained tonight, and I'm sorry. But I've got some really, really cool news. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm checking the chat room. Let's see. Anne's jumping in. Hey. Rubber Road Tactical says, if Russia influenced our election process, how did Hillary win the popular vote? Just saying. Slick, I don't know. There are some things that just remain unknown. So I'm agreeing with you. Hashtag just saying. Thanks for tuning in tonight. You needed your Stafford fix even though you're neck deep in FRG. Okay. Slick's running on fumes. Sorry. Totally exhausted from the gun show this weekend. By the way, give me an update real quick in the chat. How did it go? I know you said something about that a week or a week and a half ago about it. I'm interested to know how it went. Did you, were sales up because of it? I'm really interested. Okay. Here's the news that you guys are probably dying to hear. I know, I feel like I've kept you in suspense all night, but I dropped this news last night, and, well, it was dropped on us, mainly because they couldn't handle it. They didn't want to wait until Christmas to tell us, but we're going to be omas and opas. That's right, we're going to be grandparents. I know, this dapper young face, and we're going to be grandparents. Really, really excited. I mean, I say that from the bottom of my heart. And I know that if they are watching right now, that I hope they can sense the excitement that we have. I mean, we together are both really excited about their future. Yeah, as a parent, you kind of tend to want to be a little standoffish and, you know, take things as they go and accept things for what they are. All I'm going to say is it's kind of cool to know that, I mean, you're going to, it's really cool. Sorry. I mean, we're going to be grandparents. And I know that one of the first questions, and I don't want to stick too deep with this. I'm going to kill this chat because nobody's over there. Okay. This is, I totally forgot where I was going with that. Oh, so, sorry. One of the first questions after somebody hears that you're going to be a grandparent, the first question, I kid you not, is after they say, congratulations, they say, what are they going to call you? Are you going to be grandma and grandpa? Are you going to be grams and gramps? Are you going to be mams and bamps? I mean, that's what our son called my parents. They called them mama and bampa. Yeah, he was learning how to talk, and he struggled with some sounds. And it just stuck. It stayed. And my parents loved it. They call my wife's, they call her Grammy? Is that right? Yeah, they've always been grandma and grandpa, but I think through the years she's kind of wanted them to call her Grammy, and that's okay. I totally get it. You know, it's easier to be. It's easier to. You have your own titles, but we've been given by our son, Oma and Opa. That is the German word for grandma and grandpa. Yes, and I see that you're in the chat and you said that means you can spoil the kids and give them back. Listen, I am so looking forward to that. Oh yeah, they better be worried because I'm already stocking up on sweets. I'm stocking up on tart and tangy little gummies. I'm stocking up on chewy sprees, chewy sweet tarts. Toys. Oh yeah, we're talking toys, like the stuff that I'm going to contribute to so many bad things that happened to that kid. People thought my son was a handful. Oh, you just wait. That's what I'm excited about, is being able to spoil him or her. We don't know yet. I mean, we just found out. It's not going to, he or she's not going to be here until summertime. I think they've already discussed a couple of different ideas on names. I think they have their number one pick for whether it's a boy and a girl. Each one of them has their own. Yes, and drum set, because I don't care if it's a boy or a girl, because girls can bang out on the drums. Slick, oh sorry Slick, you missed it. We're going to be grandparents. Yes. So, going to be grandparents. Now you're caught up. That's the big news. A bubble blowing lawnmower. No, that's not big enough. I'm talking, when it comes to bubble blowing anything, here's what my idea is. I've got to get started on this. I've got to get down in the shop and start building things. I'm thinking leaf blower with a thing on the end that I can when you hit the trigger, it starts blowing bubbles the size of your head. I mean, it's like an automatic bubble gun. Slick, that better be right up your alley. Don't shoot your computer. It's okay. Slick, it's gonna be okay. You and Tina are yes. The Opa Daniel. I'm actually excited about the name that they've given us. They make a huge mess, especially in the house. Are you talking about the bubble blowing lawnmower? Yeah, I can see that. It's going to get bubble stains all over the house, but it's going to be over at theirs, not ours. We'll have the cool stuff and send it home with them. Oh, except the drums. If we get him or her drums, we might keep those here, because in the closet locked up, I've got 3 guitars and a nice little amp. We'll get it out. We'll jam out. That would be so much fun. Anyway. La-ti-da. Let's see. Thank you so much. It really does mean a lot. Let's see. Should we do our first... You know what? I've got to collect my thoughts real quick. We are going to have a short little break, and when we come back, we will dive into the our topic du jour for the evening, and that is the VA. Estes Rockets. I know a guy that built rockets with his local 4-H kids. We're gonna make rockets great again. Anyway, we've got to cut to a break. When we come back, our topic du jour for the evening is the failures of the VA. We've got 2 different stories. They kind of overlap themselves. So yeah, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Nothing will protect you quite like your sidearm, so why not give it the protection it deserves? Something as strong as the Second Amendment and stands the test of time, and better yet, made in the USA. A Rebel Road Tactical Custom Kydex holster is that and more. Call now and place your order with Rebel Road Tactical at 682-217-4579. Again, 682-217-4579, or online at rebelroadtactical.com.
Conservative in a world of liberal.
The Stafford Voice.
All right, we're back. I'm just making sure I hit all the right buttons. I forgot to switch over to the break graphic. I got to get so much better at that. And listen, 2017, we're bringing another one. So sorry, Slick, but Rebel Road Tactical is going to have to share some of the break time. I know you'll totally understand. We're going to make rockets great again and tannerite. Ooh, yes. And homemade, no, I can't say that. Dynamite sticks, we can do dynamite sticks instead of little firecrackers. You know, the little, we're talking like quarter stick dynamites. Yeah, talk about 4th of July at the TSV studios. Anyway, where do we go? Where did we go? Where do we go? We go right here, and let's talk about some secret VA ratings. This story came out, and I was like, what? Okay, so let's dig into this. This was put out by the USA Today. And let's see. Here's how they start this out. Yes, Slick, we've got to talk. But here's how this thing starts out. The Department of Veterans Affairs has for years assigned star ratings for each of its medical centers based on the quality of care and service they provide. But the agency has repeatedly refused to make them public, saying they are meant for internal use only. Okay, I get that. You want to do your own little how are we doing poll and know how you're doing. But they rate internally, they rate the different VA places, the different VA hospitals. They rate them on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 obviously being the best, 1 being completely crap. Well, check this out. VA hospitals in Dallas, El Paso, Nashville, Memphis, and Murfreesboro all received 1 star out of 5 for performance as of June 30th, the most recent ratings period available. Many of highest rated facilities are in the Northeast, in Massachusetts and New York, and the upper Midwest, including in South Dakota and Minnesota. Those medical centers scored 5 out of 5 stars. Great! What about places like Florida? What about places like, say Oklahoma? Oklahoma! Like last week when we talked about Oklahoma having maggots in a veteran. Before he died, the guy was still alive and had maggots crawling around in his wound. Let's continue, shall we? They take dozens of factors into account, including death and infection rates, instances of avoidable complications, and wait times. Some lower-ranking medical centers have remained poor performers despite high-profile crises and years of attention and resources from Washington. Okay, so you're openly admitting that no matter how much funding you get from the government, you still suck. You can throw money in a fire and it's not going to put it out. It's just going to fuel it. I'm scratching my head at this because this is completely unreal. I totally don't even understand how this stuff even happens. Okay, so let's continue. For instance, the Phoenix VA was a one-star medical center in 2014 when This is going to make your head explode. One-star medical center in 2014 when news broke that veterans had died awaiting care there, while schedulers had kept secret wait lists masking how long veterans were waiting for appointments. The revelations triggered a national scandal, hearings on Capitol Hill, and the replacement of the VA secretary. Now, here's the no-duh moment of the night. Phoenix remained a one-star facility in the most recent ratings. Okay. If you remember, one person, if I remember correctly, only one person out of that whole situation was let go. One person. And even after all of that, they're still a one-star facility. Now, the VA Undersecretary for Health, David Shulkin, cautioned against using the star ratings as a quote-unquote ranking tool and said they are considered an internal improvement tool. Your internal improvement tool sucks major balls. Okay? We're talking beach-size balls. The size that you go to Sam's Club or Costco. Costco-size balls. That's how bad you suck. This improvement tool. You didn't improve anything. He says, quote, "It is essentially a system within the VA to see who's improving, who's getting worse, so we can identify both." Okay, well, I think over the last few years, we've been able to identify how many things suck within the VA, and you haven't improved a damn thing. Okay, now subsequently, the VA has agreed to provide a list of 1- and 5-star facilities. They only want to talk about the 1-star and the 5-star facilities. What about the 2, the 3, and the 4-star facilities? We don't want to talk about those. They're doing okay. We want to talk about the 5-star ones that are doing really good, and we want to point out that, hey, you might want to fix this one. Listen, each one of these VA hospitals should be a 5-star resort. 5-star resort. Somebody in Washington needs to roll. Somebody has to roll, and at each one of these medical centers needs to roll too. Every single one of them. Start at the top and work your way to the bottom. The infection starts at the very, very top. Now, Shulkin was apprehensive about any ratings becoming public. I wonder why. Because you're sucking Costco-sized balls. Quote, "My concern is that veterans are going to see that their hospital is a 1 in our star system. Assume that's bad quality, and veterans that need care are not going to get care. And they're going to stay away from hospitals, and that's going to hurt people." Well, if you didn't suck so bad, maybe they would go. You didn't make them feel like a third-rate citizen. I'm sorry, if you didn't treat our veterans like third-rate citizens, this would have already been fixed, and we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it. We could be talking about how Russia may or may not have infiltrated our election process. We could be talking about Chip and Joanne and how they lean towards Christian beliefs and we want to attack them. Or we can talk about, the other ones who go out and spend a bunch of money on a crappy looking house in California, and, well, now they're splitting up because somebody ran out with a gun and, well, mommy called the cops. And we can talk about that crap and all that other fun stuff and poke fun of things, but no, we have to continue talking about the ignoramuses that are running the VA. And damn it, somebody better hold Trump to the fire about fixing the VA. Let me jump and look at the comments. Slick says to shut down the entire VA and make it private. Let our soldiers get the exact same care as we do. Yes, they deserve it, and they don't deserve to have to pay anything. They've already paid the price. Better yet, give them the same care effing Congress gets. Yeah. Or, yeah, that's what we need to do. There needs to be a bill passed where Congress has to go to the VA and get treated like a damn veteran. Treat Congress like we treat our veterans. Let them feel like a piece of trash. Justin, what's up, buddy? Nice to see you joining the chat, but sorry if that came across as though I was, like, being sarcastic. I'm really fired up. I'm sick and tired of talking about how crappy our VA system is. Jessica says she thinks that the VA should have one job only, to determine disability rating after your time in the service, no continuing care. That way the doctors know that airborne jumps often equal bad knees. Hell, when I was in the Army, I couldn't even go to sick call and be told what was wrong with my knees. I went round and round for 2 years. 2 years. And not a single person could come up with a logical explanation of why my knees hurt. They didn't want to listen to me. Oh, well, don't run. Here's a 800 milligram prescription for Midol, or whatever the hell it was. Midol's for people on periods. Wow. Whatever. Oh, anyway. Where are we at here? Justin says he finally got around to catch up on some Stafford Voice. Congrats on the grandpa status. I know, it's really cool. Let's see. Slick, I'd rather have an actual doctor do that. One that doesn't get paid by the effing government. Yes. Motrin. Advil? No. What? Ibuprofen. No, it wasn't ibuprofen. I don't remember what it was. Naproxen, that's what it was. 800 pounds. 800 milligram, aka Ranger Candy. Yeah, ibuprofen wasn't Ranger Candy where I came from. Ranger Candy was naproxen. It give you an 800 milligram dose of naproxen. Of course, drop that stuff 4 or 5 times a day, 2 pills at a time, just to get through the day. Even the private sector, even after being in the military, after I got out, I still went to the doctor and they still had no idea what the hell was problem with my knees. Nobody wanted to listen to me. Anyway, I still have issues, but a lot of that is taken care of as long as I stay up and stay active in the gym. Okay, we've got to continue because I want to get to the next story so we have time to talk about the rare discovery. They hand out Motrin like it's candy here. It is. It's candy. It tastes good. It's less filling, too. Okay, where did we leave off? He said, Shulkin, this, anyway, he said 120 of the 146 medical centers that the VA rates on the STAR scale have shown improvement since he began overseeing the Veterans Administration in July of 2015. He said all of the 1-star facilities have shown improvement except the VA Medical Center in Detroit, which has declined. Okay, if it was a 1-star, how does it decline? Okay, if you actually showed improvement, 120 of the 146 on this scale showed improvement, then they were a 0-star. They weren't even on the damn scale. They didn't even get a trophy for participating. That's what you get. Nothing. A big old goose egg. I'm still scratching my head at this. He says nationwide, medical centers where performance has declined are getting extra scrutiny and help from national VA offices. If they still don't show sufficient progress, hospital management could be replaced. Oh, yeah. How's that working out? There was something here. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm skimming over my notes here. On average, veterans are dying at lower rates and contracting fewer staph and urinary tract infections. Obviously, this guy doesn't read the news or listen to the show to know that there was a guy just last week we talked about who died and he had maggots in his wound before he died. Veterans are not staying as long in VA hospitals, and they're being readmitted within 30 days at lower rates. At the same time, veterans are experiencing higher rates of preventable complications during hospital stays, on average, than they did in 2014. Those on ventilators suffered more problems, such as catching pneumonia, and the rate of turnover for nurses has increased. You know what? I'm sick of talking about that. Moving on. I'm sick of talking about this. So stupid. Talking about a secret VA rating scale where they rate these places. That's like having an app on your phone that tells you which McDonald's sucks the worst. They all suck just as bad as the next one. McDonald's sucks. So does Burger King. So does Wendy's. Whataburger doesn't suck. Anyway. Of course, I wouldn't say that. I think Muscle Maker Grill probably has a 1 star and McDonald's has a 0 star on this scale. Okay, anyway, so Slick says if 120 of the 140 something really showed improvement, the VA would be releasing the records to show that. Amen, brother. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on to the next one, because this one had me fuming, and this one was sent to us by way of Army John. So shout out to him for pointing this in my direction to take a look at, and thank you for increasing my blood pressure because of it. Yes, you're reading the bottom of your screen correctly. The body of a veteran was found in a shower 9 hours later. And, well, the staff tried to hide their mistake. Sonic kind of messes with my stomach, and they tend to use a lot of salt on their tater tots. Give me some tots. No, get your own. Ugh. Anyway. Okay. Where do we even start with this? Let's see. Staff members at the Bay Pines VA. Okay, so this is in Florida, by the way. Bay Pines VA healthcare system left the body of a veteran in a shower room for more than 9 hours, then tried to cover up the mistake. At least that's what the hospital investigation shows. Some hospice staff violated hospital and Veterans Affairs policies by, quote unquote, failing to provide appropriate post-mortem care, including proper transportation of a body to the morgue, according to this report by the hospital's Administration Investigation Board. Okay. He said, she said BS. Well, Bay Pines ordered retaining and a charge in procedures as a result of the incident. Oh, no, sorry, I didn't read that right. They ordered retraining and a change in procedures. Why do we need to retrain people on how to treat a dead guy? This is a veteran. You should know how to act. You should know how to treat them. You don't need training how to wheel a guy down the hallway. Do you? Do you seriously have to go to Wheeling Down the Hallway 101? I doubt it. Must be one of those new liberal arts classes. A change in procedures. Okay, why do we need to talk about a change in procedures? Okay, here's what they said in the report, and it's kind of paraphrased, I believe. Once the veteran died, hospice staff members made direct verbal requests to an individual described as the transporter for the body to be moved to the morgue. The transporter told them to follow proper procedures instead by contacting dispatchers. We wonder why there's a problem in the VA. It's because you have to have a dispatcher to tell you, hey, there's a dead guy over here. We need to move him down to the other place. He needs a bath, and we got to slide him on and put him in the meat locker. And problem number one. Oh, listen, I'm not all that smart, but I think I can fix a lot of the problems in the VA by just with common sense. And the problem with common sense is it's so damned uncommon. Okay, so we blamed the transporter. The transporter blamed it on them by not following proper procedures and didn't contact the dispatcher. That request was never made, so those responsible for taking away the body never showed up. At first, the body was moved to a hallway in the hospice, then to a shower room where it stayed unattended for more than 9 hours. Some hospice staff, quote, demonstrated a lack of concern, attention, and respect for the veteran, according to the report. No duh, did we have to file a report to figure that out? My never nicotine-stained fingers. Okay, continuing on with the paraphrase of this report. Once the problem was discovered, efforts to understand how it happened were stalled by failures in oversight and by reports that falsely documented the incident. Staff misrepresented why the problem occurred, attributing it to a communications breakdown that never happened. Never was there once a breakdown in communication. They told the guy, move the dead guy, get him out of here, let's do this. And the guy said, no, call the dispatcher. And anyway, it was a 24-page report that they issued in April. Nonetheless, it was heavily redacted. Okay, I almost find this comical more than I do infuriating. All hospice staff have, quote-unquote, recommitted to the VA's core values, education and training, as well as proper review of policy and procedures. Hospice nursing professionals were required to sign a form. Oh, great, they signed a form saying they understand and will follow post-mortem care policy and practice. Talk is cheap, pal. And nursing safety rounds were initiated to ensure ongoing education and oversight in the unit. Quote, we feel that we have taken strong, appropriate, and expeditious steps to strengthen and improve our existing systems and processes within the unit. It is our expectation that each veteran is transported to their final resting place in the timely, respectful, and honorable manner. America's heroes deserve nothing less. No dip! That's why you need to get the hell out of that job and go flip burgers at McDonald's. A bunch of that ain't my job going on in the VA. You are exactly correct, Slick. Okay. My timekeeper is flashing the clock before my eyes and telling me we need to take another break. And quite frankly, I need one. Mouth's getting a little dry, and I need to calm down. Because this next story is really kind of cool. It's going to be real short. And then we'll dive into profiles in history. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Spark Radio Network, internet radio like you've never heard before. Innovation, creativity, and imagination are all said to begin with a spark. So fasten your seatbelt and take the ride of your life and listen for the spark.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
Conservative in a world of liberal.
The Stafford Voice.
All right, we are back. A much-needed break. I'm calmed down. I don't do the whole woosah thing because it doesn't work for me. Anyway, where are we at? I got it. I'm ready. Let's do this. Where I got to get this ready because I put this together. I wanted to show this as I'm talking about it. This, hang on. God, I got to, I'm not on top of things tonight. I've got to get better at this. Okay, so I teased you guys earlier, and you guys know that I like art. I mean, I do show graphics. I mean, I handle all this. Really, the only thing I didn't do is the incredible little cartoon guy that I use for my profile pic. That was done by the awesome and incredible artist Angie. Okay, you guys know that I like art. We went and saw a Da Vinci exhibit earlier this year. It was fantastic, and I stumbled on this one today. And let me show you real quick what we're talking about. We're talking about a rare Da Vinci discovery, okay? And this is what it is. This was a Paris-based auction house, Tajan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct. Announced the discovery of the martyred Saint Sebastian. This is the first work by Da Vinci to be discovered in over 15 years, according to Tajan. And which is an estimated value of roughly $16 million. Now, if you notice, on the left-hand side of your screen, I believe, is the actual sketch for the martyred Saint Sebastian. It is one of 14 unframed drawings brought into the auction house in March by a retired doctor. The drawings had been collected by the guy's father. They're saying that this is an exciting new discovery of an authentic double-sided sheet by Da Vinci, representing on the one side the full figure, which we have that we're showing you on the screen, of the martyred Saint Sebastian tied to a tree in a landscape. On the reverse side, you will note that there are notes and diagrams about light and shadow, which they say relate to Leonardo's study of optics. And this was according to a statement put out by the Metropolitan Museum of Art. That is absolutely fascinating that that this stuff is out there, hidden in front of our own eyes. They say that a total of 8 works depicting Saint Sebastian are mentioned in the Codex Atlanticus, which is a list of Da Vinci's work compiled by himself. Cool, right? I mean, I thought it was cool. It was completely fascinating. I mean, I will be studying that drawing later on this week. I thought it was cool. I wanted to share it with you guys. Okay, sorry, I got so many buttons here. Okay, now we're going to transition over into... Wow. I got to quit trying to bring so much and stick so much into the show. Otherwise, we're just going to have to start we're going to have to go back to doing multiple shows a week. And I don't know if I'm quite ready for that, but we've got some hopefully exciting new stuff coming up in 2017. And man, I feel like I'm just talking so much tonight. All right, let's get into this, shall we? Profiles in history. In 1774, the First Continental Congress convened, and he was one of the delegates from Rhode Island. And at the age of 68, he was senior to every delegate there, and was the only one of the 55 who attended the Albany Congress 20 years earlier. Stephen Hopkins was born on March 7, 1707, in Providence, Rhode Island. He had a basic education and loved to read. He excelled in the sciences, mathematics, and literature. His proficiency in math opened the way to becoming a surveyor, and he even dabbled a bit as an astronomer. On October 29, 1726, he married Sarah Scott, and together they would have 7 children. Only 5 lived to maturity, however, and together they started their lives on a 160-acre farm in Scituate, Rhode Island. Before long, his career in public service would take off. As a matter of fact, he was such a busy guy, we have to list this out in sort of a timeline fashion. So we'll start at the age of 23 in 1730, when he became Justice of the Peace for the newly formed town of Scituate that they called home. And he held this office until 1735. In 1731, he became clerk of Scituate, where he would hold for 11 years before moving to Providence. From 1736 to 1746, he was Justice of the Inferior Court of Common Pleas and General Sessions. And for the last 5 years, he also sat as a clerk of the body as well. If that wasn't enough, during this same time, he was president of the town council, Speaker of the House of Deputies, and was elected as a deputy in 1744, a position he held for 7 years. At some point during all of that service, in 1742, Hopkins sold the farm. They moved to Providence, where he would be able to put more time and effort on business interests, namely the merchant marine business, and he got into manufacturing. He got into manufacturing when he became a partner with the 4 Brown brothers at the time in establishing the Hope Furnace. This enterprise was concerned with ironworks, which made pig iron and cannons for use during the Revolutionary War. Now, after it was established, his son Rufus managed the business for 4 decades. His wife Sarah died in 1753. The following year, Stephen was a delegate to the Albany Convention, where Benjamin Franklin proposed a plan to unite the colonies. In 1755, he married his second wife, Anne Smith. They didn't, however, have any children together. Also in the same year, Hopkins was elected to his first term as governor of Rhode Island. He lost to William Greene in 1757, but Greene died in office 1 year later, and Hopkins once again became governor. In 1762, he lost to Samuel Ward. Over the next few years, he and Ward would go back and forth as governor. And this brings us to the year 1765, when both houses of Parliament in England passed the Stamp Act, which Hopkins opposed, something he expressed a year earlier in November of 1764, when he published a pamphlet called The Rights of Colonies Explained. Now, this pamphlet attacked both the Stamp Act and Sugar Act, arguing that direct taxation of a non-consenting people was tyrannical. Now, to get a better idea of just what this pamphlet would become, the text begins with the phrase, quote, "Liberty is the greatest blessing that men enjoy, and slavery the heaviest curse that the human nature is capable of. This being so, makes it a matter of the utmost importance to men, which of the two shall be their portion." Now, this paper established Hopkins as one of the leaders of the public opinion in the colonies. For Rhode Island, he became what Samuel Adams was to Massachusetts and what Thomas Jefferson was to Virginia. Now, true, Hopkins owned slaves, but his opinion changed the same year he wrote and published that pamphlet. Remember how he got into the merchant marine business? That endeavor was with his brother, Essex. Essex was captain of the slave ship named Sally. The Sally left Africa with 196 slaves on board. Through sickness, suicides, and even a violent attempt to take over the ship, 109 of those Africans died on the journey. Having been so intimate with this business transaction per se, what Essex witnessed helped influence Hopkins' change of heart toward slavery. He even freed his own slaves in 1773. Now, by the time Stephen Hopkins was chosen as a delegate of Rhode Island for the First Continental Congress in 1774, he was 67 years old. The only one older than was Franklin. And maybe it was all of his life's experience that gave him the wisdom to see the heart of the conflict with Britain. He told Congress, quote, "Powder and ball will decide this question. The gun and bayonet alone will finish the contest in which we are engaged. And any of you who cannot bring your minds to this mode of adjusting this question had better retire in time." On May 4th, 1776, Rhode Island had severed its ties to King George, and exactly 2 months later, on July 4th, 1776, as a delegate for Rhode Island, Stephen Hopkins voted for independence. When it was time to sign the Declaration of Independence in August, Hopkins' hand shook so bad from a palsy that he had developed in his hands, he had to hold his right wrist with his left hand to write. He commented as he signed his signature, "My hand trembles, but my heart does not." Hopkins retired from public life in 1780 and lived to see the Revolution's success. However, after an extended illness on July 13th, 1785, he passed away in Providence at the age of 78. And that is this week's Profiles in History. All right. We are completely out of time, slightly over. Nobody will hold it against us, hopefully. Anyway, that is all the time we have for this show right here this week. And God willing, the Stafford Voice will be back next week. You can follow me on Twitter or Gab at Stafford Voice. Look us up on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, wherever you are. I promise you, in 2017, we are going to ramp up things just a tad bit. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with some of the ideas that I've got. So make sure you're following wherever you need to, or wherever your choice is. Email your questions, comments, or concerns to the Stafford Voice at gmail.com. Again, that is the Stafford Voice at gmail.com. Thank you so much for your time. And until next week, thanks and God bless.